to effect now in less than 2 minutes, Ron.
Yeah, that's right, Aisha. And you know, right before you came on to the set, we didn't see a lot of National Guardsmen or any APD up front as they were trying to interact with some of the protesters there. Just a handful of police officers. But now you can see they are in full force, ready on the skirmish line and possibly ready to go. Let's get down to John Sherrick. He's right there with the National Guard personnel. And John, what can you tell us? What do you see?
Ron and Aisha, just as you mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, Atlanta Police and National Guard troops, Georgia National Guard troops, moved into position. And right now, as you can hear in the background, Atlanta Police making the nightly statement telling everybody that the curfew is about to begin and that they need to leave. Really, just a relative handful of people are still here. You can't see them from our vantage point. If you have another camera shot, you might be able to see the ones who remain. The biggest group of protesters marched to Hurt Park, about a half-mile away, and we don't think they're going to be able to make it back here before the curfew, if in fact that's what they were planning. Well, we're hearing people on loudspeakers in the crowd saying time to go home, so that may be exactly what happens here in the next minute or two as the curfew approaches here less than, well, 30 seconds away. But police and National Guard troops with their shields and their gas masks and their riot gear, other riot gear, are here ready to move through the crowds to enforce the curfew if they must. So we're just waiting now to see exactly what the crowd decides to do, the ones who are still here. As you know, the last couple of nights, the crowd has dispersed relatively peacefully, maybe with just a relative handful of arrests from people who didn't leave quick enough. But police are ready to go to arrest anyone who may still be here once they decide to enforce this curfew. But again, we're continuing to see more and more demonstrators leave, walk away, back off, and a few are still left up against the line where police are gathered and National Guard troops are gathered to move through. Now we are hearing a sound, a horn, and police remain in place. Almost more people taking pictures than holding signs, including demonstrators with their cell phones and their video cameras to record whatever might happen if in fact there's anything here to record. So perhaps you could tell us what you are seeing from a different vantage point. I can't see perhaps further on down the intersection past the police and National Guard troops.
And John, we are looking at your shot.
The troops have just been given the okay to. The troops have just been given the okay to move ahead when you're ready. Atlanta police seem to be standing there, deciding if in fact they want to begin moving forward. And Aisha, I'm sorry I interrupted you a moment ago. Are you able to see a little bit better from where you are?
Yes, so we are taking a look live via Sky Tracker right now where we see the National Guard set up on both sides of Centennial Olympic Park, making sure that that crowd doesn't move to another area. They're all the way down Centennial there. And what we're seeing is just a small group of protesters, extremely small compared to the large crowds that were out there earlier. Blocked on both sides by the National Guard. Just a few people still scattered about, John. We're going to take you to the ground now where Hope Ford is. Hope, tell us, what do you see from your area?
We're still here on the corner of Marietta and Centennial Olympic Park, right in front of that line. So right at 8 o'clock, there was probably 30 or 40 people there. Right at 8 o'clock, they started backing up. There are kind of a few people hanging out in the street right now. But we did hear, you see that person right there in the yellow shirt that has the organizer sign on it. He was out there. He was, telling people, hey, it's time to go home. Watch your clock. It's time to go home. And then he gave the megaphone to someone else in the crowd who said, remember, this is a peaceful protest. If y'all start throwing bottles, if y'all start throwing things at the police, you are the enemy. You are an instigator. So do not do that. This is a peaceful protest. So it's backed up now, and a lot of people are heading in different directions. A lot of them are going down Marietta Street because it's not blocked off like it normally is, instead of going down Centennial, which they've done for the last 7 days if they were still around that curfew time. So a lot of people that are heading off in different directions are kind of just standing back with their phones, recording. I see a couple of people live. There are a lot of people who, you see that there is a large police presence, and so they were wondering, why did so many police come out for the small amount of protesters that were right there and who were protesting peacefully. Although it is that 8 o'clock curfew, police have not moved forward at this time, although they did all come out at once, placing their shields down right before that 8 o'clock curfew went into effect. So right now, again, there is a handful of people who are kind of still hanging around. Just they're either on their phones or they're still even holding up signs, just standing still. So if it's anything like last night where we saw police did not throw tear gas,
Yeah, I was just going to point out real quick.
Go ahead, Ron.
It just seems like they just seem like they are not at this point ready to advance forward. I think they're just waiting and seeing, being very patient, seeing if there's going to be any stragglers who are going to challenge them or not, because they're in the ready. I mean, they're ready to go, but they're not really ready. They're just kind of standing by, seeing what's going to happen next. And you have a lot of press down there. You have a lot of journalists down there as well with cameras. As you can see once again on the other side of the street behind Hope Ford, they're ready to push that crowd down the street. However, at this point, Aisha and Hope, it seems like they're not really making any movement.
Yeah, if it's anything like last night, they gave them a few minutes. Of course, they were having a conversation last night with protesters at that time. This time, people have backed up, and they're still standing there right now. So there were a couple of people who were upset that they moved that curfew up from 9 to 8. So I have heard a couple of people in the crowd say that, why move it up if we're out here peacefully protesting? So they're hanging out right there. Again, still a lot of the people are have on organizer shirts, or they have on first aid gear to kind of let people know should they throw tear gas or anything like that, to come to them and they will be able to help you. But right now, I mean, even just turning around, we see a couple of people who are still kind of just walking around with signs, who are just in the road despite that 8 o'clock curfew.
And Hope, it is very clear, and the mayor has made it clear, the chief has made it clear at this point at 8:05, almost 8:06, even though it's just a small group of people out there, you run the risk of being arrested, because now you are no longer in compliance with the order that is on the books by the city. We're looking at the Sky Tracker view, Hope, and it is, I can probably say, no more than 30 people out there right now. It's a very small group, maybe even smaller than that. And you can see just how small they are in comparison to the amount of National Guard and APD members that are lined up on both sides of Centennial Olympic Park, making sure that if they try to go anywhere else, they have no choice but to get out and go home. So I think it's interesting that although people may not agree with the 8 p.m. curfew, we got the alerts on our phone. Everyone here heard them go off, even got a reminder to come through. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, even with just a handful of people right now.
Yeah,
and if it's anything again like last night, we did have two,
and he's also with APD. No, I was just going to say, John Sherrick is right there with the National Guard and APD. So I'm wondering, John, are you hearing any chatter at all from your vantage point? Anyone giving commands or any indication that they may be moving at any moment?
Not at all, Ron. They're just here waiting for orders. And there is a commanding officer there at the head of the line, and he is conferring with others and now moving back toward the troops who are at the very head of the line, telling them, motioning them to, looks like, come forward. So they may now begin to move through the streets to tell the people who are still here to leave, and get right up close to them and tell them in that way that it's time for them to leave. So here, as you see, some Atlanta police officers now moving through the lines past the National Guard troops and moving through the intersection.
From the other side, John, we're going to toss the Hope Ford right now to see that view from the other side.
Yeah, so they're moving forward, which is actually, this is the first time I've seen them move forward without their shields, Normally they move forward in full force in a full line with their shields. This time you just see a couple of them coming out into the road. And I just heard the can't see. And they're telling them right there, asking them please to go home.
Man, it wouldn't be no division if it wasn't for y'all president, man. Y'all president
So they're just moving forward right
I
now.
think
They're
once
just
again,
walking.
ladies, that APD is just giving
And
them
they're actually
a
saying please.
chance
They're saying let's go
to
please.
go home. I mean, you're right. Normally, you would see them out there with shields. You would see them out there marching in a straight line, in a skirmish line, kind of pushing folks back. But now it seems like they're taking the diplomacy position of just going up, talking to people, saying, hey, listen, you know the curfew starts at 8 o'clock. It's time to go home. That's the conversation that appears to be going on. Is that what you're hearing, Hope?
I don't know if y'all can hear this right now.
You know what I'm saying? We out here for a reason, not to make not to get arrested, not to get no more sentences. None of that. Just do what they say. Go home. Go home. Yeah, they say only the homeless can stay out.
I don't know if y'all could hear that or not, but she walked up to that gentleman right there, and she's trying to convince him to go home. She's saying, don't make it harder for us. They're doing what the mayor said. Please just go home.
City Hall,
Where you
go to
at?
the state capitol
Where you at?
and address
What
these
is going
problems.
on? We peaceful, and we still getting tear gas and being arrested because we won't go home. Stop killing us.
We don't stop paying taxes. That's what we're going to do.
Man, what a turn when you think about the
So they are
first
turning
night
around
of
and-
protest. Now you have some of the peaceful protesters making sure that those who are refusing to leave to go home.
Keisha, Bottom, I'm calling you out. This black sister right here is calling you out. You got black brothers. You got a black father. You got nieces and nephews. They killing us. We're going to be at your house, Keisha. I challenge you.
Hope, I know earlier on we were talking about we didn't see any leadership out there, and that's why some of these protests got out of control on certain days, because there was no identifiable leader. It looks like this woman has taken on a leadership role, even risking being arrested herself in order to get others that she may know out there out of the way who may want to try to stay and push the line a little bit. And she's calling people by name, telling them to get out of there. So we are seeing a true sign of leadership, and even the first person with an organizer vest on out there too. So this has really changed over the last week.
Yeah, from what I've seen for the last few days, you know, when we say we haven't seen leadership, there have been lots of leaders in the crowds, but as we now know, as we've been covering this, there have been several days, or every day really, where there's large protests in several different areas that end up merging on one. And then by the time the curfew comes around, and I apologize for any cursing that you might hear there, but at this time, normally the organizers head home as a sign to let everyone else know that it's time to go home. But she is the one that is leading everybody away right now. It is not really, no one's really paying attention to the police at this point. They're following behind, but she definitely took charge of that megaphone that was in the hands of someone else, and they're walking forward. She's leading everybody away right now.
And you know what? She's probably being seen as an ally by APD and also the National Guard, because they don't have to do a lot of work. It's like those guys and gals who are behind her in uniform, it's like they are her backup. You know, they're the cover officers for her as she kind of leads some of those protesters who were wanted to stick around, leading them out.
And
And the other
she
thing
has
that's
been
interesting, and Hope, you
kind of
can't
giving
see
a message
this.
to.
Yeah, you can't see this,
Go
Hope,
ahead, Ron.
but behind the lines where John Sherrick is, and maybe John can talk about this here in a couple of minutes, some of the APD officers are taking off their helmets, they're taking off their shields, they are standing down.
And put their helmet shields up, taking a sip of water. chatting with each other. Their shields are down, and they are at ease here, just waiting to be back up in case the police officers down the street need backup. But as you saw, it doesn't appear that they will need to be used tonight. So they are here if they'd be needed, and it looks like they're not going to be needed, other than whatever effect their presence here might have had on the crowd when they saw the massive force that was arrayed to enforce the curfew if that turned out to be necessary. But it's a very relaxed scene right here, right now, which I guess means that everybody is breathing a sigh of relief.
And John, this is what we've seen for the past couple of nights, them standing down earlier and not having to pull out, you know, full armor and tear gas and any sort of irritants that they could use out there, because people really did start to comply right around the curfew. But I think tonight they had to be ready because it was a little bit different given that hour earlier curfew, not knowing how people were going to respond to that. And we've witnessed this every single day. The military presence really tended to agitate the crowd, and people saying, you know, even the chants, "We're not rioting, there's no riot here, why are you in riot gear?" So people didn't take too kind to the military presence, especially with it being an hour earlier. Hope, are you still walking with this group? It seems like she has some sort of direction that she's taken them in. I don't know if they're going to a car or what. What's happening now?
Aisha, can you hear me still?
I can still hear John. Yes, John, I can still hear you. I was seeing if Hope was going to be able to hear me.
The police officers here were told to fall back and to go to another part of town, Piedmont Park and Piedmont Road at South Prado. They believe there are the crowd of people who are making their way in that direction. And so these police officers might be needed there in case there is any sort of demonstration or a group of people in defiance of the curfew heading toward Piedmont Park. So we will check on that end of things. But for right now, it looks like these officers and these troops are going to be leaving here and perhaps going to another part of town.
All right, John, we're going to keep a close eye on that. Thank you for that information. We're glad you were there to hear that and to get that for us. We're going to check on that. Let's get back to Hope Ford on the ground. Hope, are you still walking with this crowd? It seems like they're going in a very pointed direction. What can you tell us?
Yeah, at this point, we just wanted to know where she was going. But right now, they are, and you see this kind of, these are the police and the National Guard that first went out in front of, to kind of usher everybody home. But you see in the distance up there, there is that little crowd being led by our mystery woman who took over the megaphone, who is the one that led everybody away. She went up, and if y'all are just joining in, she went up in the middle of the police who were trying to get someone to go home, and she said, you know what, don't make this harder for us. They're enforcing the mayor's order. Please go home. And then she took a megaphone, and she has been delivering a very interesting message to Keisha Lance Bottoms, Mayor Bottoms. We can't air a lot of what she's saying because a lot of it is profanity laced. But they're still walking right now, and the police are just walking behind them. They're not, you know, there's a couple up there. A couple stop every once in a while to let them go. They're not rushing up on them. And it's interesting because all of those stragglers that you saw who were just kind of still standing there with signs, now they're joined behind her. And they're just marching down the street. They're marching down, they're chanting as if they're having their own little mini protest. So they're continuing to go down. Are they going to cars? Are they going away? We don't know. The police are still following them. They all have, you know, zip ties on them as well. But they're having a little mini march after the curfew down Lucky Street right now. That's where we're walking behind them right now.
Yeah, Hope, this is definitely an extended march/protest going on right now, even after the curfew. So it will be interesting to see how long the National Guard and APD is going to let this go on. We're going to let you guys reset and see. Guys, let me know if you want to stick with this, as it looks like they're stopping right now.
Okay, they've stopped.
Yeah.
They've stopped now.
We'll stick with this for a second to see how this is going to unfold at this intersection.
The police are asking the crowd, okay, well now, where are y'all going? Because I need to know. The officer is saying I have to get you home. They're about to take away any discretion I have. I'm putting my mic in there, see if we can hear them.
Hold on, wait a minute, check this. We listening to them. They only doing their job. You hear me? They gonna do what that, that sellout Keisha Lance bottom said. And that's to enforce a curfew. So I tell you what, the curfew is only for downtown. It's only for downtown. I'm about to leave because you're not gonna put no handcuffs on me. But we're about to leave. And I just might ride past your house tonight.
And Hope, we do want to clarify, she was saying that the curfew is only for downtown. That is not accurate. The curfew is for the city of Atlanta. We didn't want to let that inaccuracy go out over our air there, but the curfew is for the city of Atlanta. It is not just for downtown.
Yeah, she's saying right now that they're heading to their car, to her car. The police have, they've stopped following at this point. She said, I don't know if you could hear that, but she said, we can protest all we want to my car. So they are continuing to go home. You saw this intersection right here. If we turn around, you saw that intersection where they stopped there. The police said, all right, now it's gotten to the point where they're about to take away our discretion and we're going to have no choice but to arrest you, which is why you heard that woman there say that you're not going to put handcuffs on me. And she said that she was headed home. So they've gone on and continued. The police have stopped following them at this point in time. This went all the way down Lucky Street. What corner are we at right now? I can't really see which corner, but you can see the Holiday Inn Express right there. But they went all the way down here. The police are no longer following them. It looks like the organizer actually got the megaphone back from the leader who actually is the one that led all those protesters away. I'll send it back to you, Aisha.
All right, Hope, we will keep a close eye on that. And also word of people migrating to Piedmont Park. Stick around. You're watching 11 Alive News Primetime here on the ATL. We'll be right back.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system.
This is a live look right now.
Welcome back to 11 Alive News Primetime. This is a live look right now, folks, downtown Atlanta. You see a lot of National Guard. They're just standing around. Some of them have taken their helmets off. They have the visors up. APD is on stand down, really. A lot of them are. The curfew kicked off at 8 o'clock, and within minutes, the few protesters that were there, they walked away. They even had this young lady who was kind of the organizer or the leader of the group, and she told them, hey, listen, the curfew is in full effect. It's time for us to get out of here. So APD the National Guard really did not have a lot to do. And it was thanks to those folks who were there protesting peacefully and a leader amongst them who marched everyone away. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this. John Sherrick's on the ground for us. We have Hope Ford out there as well. But right now, I believe we're going to go to Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb to talk about the weather. It doesn't seem like a lot of rain out there right now, Chris.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of rain out there at all. And, you know, last night we had a shower that came in through downtown and it didn't last that long. And tonight, most areas are dry. As you can see here on radar, we just have a couple little blips around of just a few little areas of very isolated showers that are moving through. We had some heavier showers and thunderstorms on the south side earlier. Those are diminishing as they push down toward the south, and that's leaving us mainly dry here in Atlanta. Again, for the rest of the evening hours, there is the potential for a couple of isolated showers that could develop. And then if you look over into parts of Alabama and Mississippi, look at that area of rain that's pushing down to the south. This is a big time wind event here with numerous severe thunderstorm warnings along that line. But with this system, it is going to move down to the south. That's not moving our way, and for the rest of the night, we're mainly going to stay dry. You can see out to the west, there's that marginal risk and then the level 2 risk that you see in yellow from those storms that came through a little bit earlier. We are not any risk areas at all for severe weather. Again, just that chance for a couple of isolated showers that could develop here this evening and overnight, but I really think most of us are going to stay dry. We made it up to only 83 degrees for a high temperature today. That's because as some of the rain came through Atlanta, our temperatures then fell into the 70s, and right now we're still in the 70s, and we'll pretty much stay in the 70s for the rest of the evening hours and overnight. It has been warmer, though, up in North Georgia, where we haven't had as many rain showers. Rome is still holding in the lower 80s, as well as Dalton and Canton right now holding in the 80s. Athens, you're at 78 degrees right now. We'll watch these temperatures tonight, pretty much hovering there in the mid and lower 70s, and even by tomorrow morning, lower 70s, and then maybe even 69 degrees for a low early in the morning with that mixture of sunshine and clouds. We have the 8 o'clock advisory in from the National Hurricane Center. No big changes right now with Tropical Storm Cristobal from what we told you about earlier, but if you did not watch us at 5 and at 6 o'clock, I want you to know that it is upgraded now to a tropical storm. It was downgraded to a depression earlier when it was over land, but now the system is over water, so it's starting to regain strength, and that strengthening process is going to continue for the rest of the overnight hours through the day tomorrow. And by Sunday afternoon, it's going to be nearing the Louisiana coastline. We have tropical storm warnings in effect for what you see here in blue for parts of the Louisiana coastline, also Mississippi and Alabama coastline, as the storm will be approaching later on Sunday and then moving inland around in Louisiana and then beginning to lose its strength as it moves on up to the north and to the east. But if you'll recall what we've been telling you all week, we're not going to have really the direct impacts from this system, but some indirect impacts with that southerly flow bringing up some Gulf moisture, and that's going to increase our rain chances once we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. I want to show you through the day tomorrow, we'll see that system moving up to the north, but notice we're going to have some slightly drier air pushing into our area. A rain chance tomorrow is only going to be at about 30%, and then as this continues to move up toward the north, on Sunday, we still think we're going to be on the dry part of this, but all that moisture coming in here into Louisiana and into the Gulf Coast region, once this moves inland and weakens, that just opens up the door to more of this moisture that's going to start feeding in, and that's when we're going to see our rain chances going up for Monday, Tuesday, and also Wednesday. And then by Thursday and Friday, a lot of that moisture moves out of here, and we'll see some drier air that's going to move in. But get ready to get hot tomorrow. 89 degrees for a high, 30% chance for an afternoon shower. Rain chance only down to 20% on Sunday with a high of 88. And then those rain chances coming back up to 40% Monday, 50% on Tuesday, back to 40% Wednesday. And then as that drier air filters in, you'll see the rain chances going down Thursday. And right now, next Friday, looks dry with a high of 86.
The people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted.
Welcome back. We are here now. Time now 8:30. The 8 p.m. curfew, which was an hour earlier from nights past, has been in effect now for 30 minutes. We are seeing the National Guard set up here at the corner of Marietta Street and Centennial Olympic Park Drive. A very small crowd of protesters remained after the 8 o'clock hour. They were guided away by a woman who identified herself as a leader among them. We're going to check back on the status of that. But first, let's get you back to John Sherrick on the ground. John.
Aisha, as you can see, National Guard troops are still here, just manning their posts with nothing to do. I'm sure very relieved that they have nothing to do. They were here with their shields, with their riot gears, with their gas masks, ready to move into the crowd if necessary to enforce the curfew. But no one needed them. And what a contrast from a week ago at this location, a week ago tonight, when, as we saw, peaceful protests devolved into rioting. But that's not what is happening here. As you can see, for the third night in a row, no tear gas needed, no rubber bullets, if you will. Off to the right, you can see additional National Guard troops here waiting for their orders to move on. And they haven't received those orders. They're still here at ease and waiting. And then as we pan way around to the left again, in the other direction of Centennial Olympic Park Drive, there are the armored vehicles in the middle of the street, just standing watch in case anybody tries to come back here. But it looks like this site has been immobilized, if you will, and rendered peopleless, except for the security officers, military and civilian, who are here. The Humvees and armored vehicles are moving now down Marietta Street. There is a prison bus, an inmate bus, which they didn't need here tonight, but now we're checking other parts of town to see whether they might be needed somewhere else in case there are any crowds of protesters who might have marched from Hurt Park, where many of them were, to another part of town, perhaps north toward Piedmont Park. But we are only hearing from police that they're checking out those areas. We do not know yet exactly what that situation might be. But they're moving a lot of this hardware out of here, either to their staging area or perhaps to another part of Atlanta. Aisha.
All right, John, thank you. And Hope Ford was with that crowd earlier, the small group that remained after the curfew. Hope, tell us how that unfolded while we were in break. They said they were going to their car An officer said they had no choice but to move in if they did not get out of there. Looks like it is clear where you are now.
It is, and I just, they said that they started walking away. I decided to follow a little bit behind them because I needed to know at least what the woman's name was. Her name is Eva, and she is with one of the organizers of one of the many protests that ended up here at Centennial Olympic Park. So they just kind of stood in the parking lot for a few more minutes with a couple of other people that were still listening to them, and she was kind of just continuing to reiterate her message that Mayor Bottoms needs to continue to come down here and needs to relax restrictions on the curfew, and that she needs to be more visible out here. Of course, we know Mayor Bottoms was here last night for one of the protests, but she continued to say, you know what, we're gonna keep showing up. We're not stopping. If we need to take the protest somewhere else, then we will, but we are not stopping, and we will be back tomorrow. So, and for those of you who missed it, she just kind of came up as the police were trying to get everyone to go home, and she talked to one protester and convinced him to come with her. And then she grabbed the megaphone and she led everyone away, with the police kind of walking behind. So no one was even paying attention to the police. Everyone's eyes were on her, and they forgot about the police that were following them, asking them to go home. And they continued all the way down Luggage Street until finally the police said, we have to break this up and go home. So they're being very lenient. I'm not sure exactly what time it is right now, but we've seen a couple of protesters who are still out here, and the National Guard was actually escorting them to their cars, having conversations with them, saying, yeah, we really don't want to arrest anybody, but, we have to enforce this curfew. So this 8 o'clock curfew, they were extremely lenient, more lenient than we've seen in the past couple of nights since the curfew went into place. But as far as we can see, everyone is gone at this point. It's just really the press and the National Guard and some police officers out here at this point in time. Other than that, these streets are clear.
All right, Hope, thank you so much. We're glad to see this has come to a peaceful end with that curfew going into effect an hour earlier. So this past week was supposed to be a big one for Atlanta businesses. Many had planned to reopen after being closed due to COVID-19, but some of their plans have been halted due to looting after last Friday's protests. Nick Sturdivant talked to two business owners about how it's impacted them.
It's more than just about our business.
They were ready to reopen the doors, but like a lot of businesses in downtown Atlanta and in Buckhead,
This is about all the businesses that lost everything.
Exactly. Adam Concept Store is now boarded up.
So when I saw the damage, I was just, I'm almost crying.
Zola Diaz is the owner and Chris Shelby is the manager of Adam, located in Shops Buckhead. In the wee hours Saturday morning after the protests earlier, looters broke in and wiped out their entire store, taking roughly $100,000 in clothes and merchandise.
Now it's only Chris and me, and also we've been closed during 3 months now.
3 months, yeah.
Yes.
I closed the store March 13th.
Correct.
So we haven't opened up since March 13th, and June 1st is supposed to be our opening date.
Zola now faces an uphill battle. He says he was unable to receive money from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loan, because he's here in the U.S. on an immigrant investor's visa.
So that means I invest some money in the United States. That's why I can stay and work. I'm living in the United States now. It's been like 5 years. Even like a regular credit card, I don't have a credit card.
We have a big, huge Black community in Atlanta, so we have to all come together to give back. So that's what this really is. This relief fund is just to give back.
Earlier this week, an Atlanta Black-owned relief fund was set up, aimed to help Black business owners affected by looting. Money raised going towards repair costs.
Everyone was like, I want to help, and that's how we just started it. We're currently trying to figure out a way that we can give out right now.
Support is real, and now we feel like we got to bounce back and do it again for Atlanta, because I feel like they want us here and they need us.
Now to new information about last Friday's unrest in Atlanta. The GBI believes a coordinated effort was responsible for much of the violence and destruction. GBI Director Vic Reynolds says while the overwhelming majority of people arrested since Friday are from Georgia, there are several from out of state with a history of violence. The GBI looked at more than 400 arrests from Friday to Monday, and 84% of them are from our state in Georgia. But the ones from outside the state have interesting histories here. For instance, one man is from Minnesota, and authorities believe he took part in the riots up there before coming to Atlanta. A Florida person who was arrested had several charges for assault from the riots in Ferguson back in 2014. And 10 people were all bonded out of jail by the same person who lives out of.
It indicates to us that they were connected in some fashion, and so we're trying our best with our federal partners to see what those connections are.
Now, Director Reynolds told 11Alive that he's working with the FBI to find out if these kinds of coordinated efforts are happening in other parts of our country. He said at this time he can't say who these groups are.
New photos released today of several people wanted for questioning after a man was badly beaten at Underground Atlanta. Police releasing these photos of the suspects, including one that appears to have a tattoo across the back of his neck. Craig Waters was left with broken bones and bruises after he was attacked last Friday. Waters manages the Underground Atlanta properties and was out there assessing the damage from vandals who'd smashed windows and broken in businesses. If you recognize any of the suspects in that video we showed you, please give Atlanta police a call. We'll be right back.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit CDC.
It's a pretty quiet evening out there tonight as we have just only a few isolated showers that are out there showing up on radar. Not much activity at all. We've got a little shower there in Forsyth County coming out of Cherokee County, also one in Gilmer. This stuff that you're seeing in Atlanta, not all of this is making it to the ground. Some of these are false echoes that we're seeing here on our radar. Just don't be surprised in some of these clouds if there are a few raindrops coming down, but it's nothing heavy at all. We had the heavier showers and thunderstorms a little bit earlier on the south south side, those moved away and they weakened. And then if you head over into parts of western Alabama, really from Birmingham down I-20 over into Mississippi, look at that line of storms there. And ahead of that, we have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. That's a big wind event that's coming through there with that system that's pushing through Alabama. And then a lot of lightning back into Alabama. But all of this is pushing to the south. It's not moving our way. So I really think for the rest of the nighttime hours, we're going to have a quiet evening out there. We got up to 83 degrees today. That's before the rain came in. You know, we had some showers early and then we had a break in the rain. Those temperatures got up to 83 and then we had more rain come in and then we fell into the 70s. So we were really a couple of degrees below the average. We should be at 85 degrees for this time of year. We only picked up about a quarter of an inch of rain officially at Hartsfield-Jackson. I know many other areas picked up more rain than that, and then other areas got nothing at all. So our surplus right now is at about 14.5 inches above where we should be in rainfall for the year. Here's a look at those temperatures. It was a mild start with temperatures in the 70s, and then we bumped up to around 80 degrees at around 10 o'clock, and then we had some rain, and then it dried out again, and then our high actually got up to 83 in between these hourlies here. And now we've been pretty much holding in the 70s for much of the evening hours, and that's where we're going to stand overnight as well, just dropping down into the lower 70s by tomorrow morning. We will see lower rain chances as we go through the weekend, with the rain chance on Saturday afternoon at about 30%, and then on Sunday, I'm just going with the 20% chance for showers. I think we will have some drier air in place, but it's still going to be warm. In fact, we'll be close to 90 degrees tomorrow with a high temperature of 89. Sunday will be up to around 88, so very warm air. And then we continue to track the tropical storm Cristobal that is now over the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to start gaining strength as it moves up to the north. Here's a look at these temperatures around North Georgia. Just about everybody in the 70s, kind of muggy out there, a lot of humidity around. The warmer spots are in the areas that didn't see rain today. Rome is 82, Dalton is at 81 degrees, and we'll see these temperatures pretty much holding in the 70s overnight. By tomorrow morning, right around 70, maybe some spots in the upper 60s. And then by afternoon, we get up to 89. We'll go with the 7 on the wasometer, only a 30% chance for some of those scattered showers. Here's what we're watching tonight: mainly dry. In the morning, a few clouds around. It'll be a muggy start. Lunchtime, mainly dry, but then look at this in the afternoon, not a lot of rain around. We're just talking about a 30% chance for some of those isolated showers, and then the rain chance even lower Sunday at 20%. Then as we start to see a little more moisture feeding in from the Gulf, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those rain chances will be a little bit higher. They start to go down Thursday, and right now, Friday, by the end of the week, looks like a dry day.
Well, we've heard a lot this week about the importance of voting in light of the recent protests. Today, voters stacked up by the hundreds in Fulton County, the last day of early voting for Tuesday's long-delayed primary. One woman told us she stood in line for 5 hours in College Park. 11Alive's Doug Richards shows us why voters say it was worth the wait.
Thunder began rumbling as 19-year-old Kate Hubbard
couldn't hear you.
Was deep in line outside the Garden Hills early voting site. The downpour that followed treated hundreds of voters with relentlessly democratic equanimity and was an eye-opener for Hubbard.
You're voting for the first time? Right now. It's a hell of a way to start, right?
It was as if the pandemic and the collapse of the economy wasn't enough. Now there were hundreds of voters seemingly soaked to the bone, yet unwilling to yield to the elements.
This is the only way that we're going to make any change.
The thunder clapped for close to an hour before giving way. The line stayed put.
3 people now have offered us an umbrella. Literally, this one was like forced into my hand.
For some of these voters, there was another added element. The protests that have roiled Atlanta and the country for a week have loudly sought political change. Many folks in this line were seeking the very same thing, much more quietly.
And I want to be able to identify candidates that I think will fight for, criminal justice reform, to make sure that people like me don't continue to suffer the injustices that we have over the years.
Yannick DaCosta says she joined the protesters for one day this week, made her point, and then researched candidates running in Tuesday's primary. Teal Green says she skipped the protests, but felt compelled to be part of this crowd instead.
I definitely think right now there are some very pressing issues, and everyone has a lot of opinions, so now is a time that they should put that into action.
With an eye, perhaps, on clearing some of the storms thundering through an embattled country.
So here's a question we received from a lot of you folks out there. How can you offer more support or be an ally during this difficult time? At 11 Alive, we are Where Atlanta Speaks, and we had Elwin Lopez look into some of these questions today to give you some answers.
Chants for change, signs against racial injustice. It's a push against police brutality and systemic racism. Many of you reached out to us saying you can't march the streets, asking us for other ways to support the Black Lives Matter movement. Like Alicia, who wrote, quote, "I'm interested in other ways for the community to get involved that doesn't involve a physical protest." And Carol, who told us she's a, quote, 64-year-old white grandmother at a loss on what she can do to support change. While Dr. Sharon Miller told us she is doing her part.
And my role in this movement is to peacefully protest and to effect positive social change and to stay prayed up for this country, for this nation, for this world.
I spoke to the Georgia NAACP state president, who says there are a few easy ways to support the cause from home.
You might not be able to protest and show up, in the streets, but you can join an organization that are doing the advocacy work on a daily basis.
Joining an advocacy group is one way to be an ally to the cause, says James Woodall. So is voting and keeping your elected officials accountable.
Demand that they take action on the demands that those who are marching and demonstrating and protesting. They're calling for the kinds of public policy and the structural and systematic changes that do not lend itself into more Black death.
Atlanta NAACP President Richard Rose says another way is to support Black-owned businesses.
Unfortunately, in the state of Georgia, less than 2% of state contracts go to Black-owned businesses. And those things could help not only the Black business owners, but the Black business employees.
The NAACP says that they will be holding a virtual town hall as well as other events that you can join from home. We will be adding those to our 11alive.com website so that you can check them out for yourself.
So to come, we speak to Ahmaud Arbery's mother. What an investigator revealed that forced her to leave the courtroom in tears. Next.
Diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both.
Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory.
A South Georgia judge says there is enough evidence to move forward with the trial against the 3 men charged with killing Ahmaud Arbery. Arbery was shot and killed in Brunswick back in February. The 3 men charged in his death are now charged with murder, accused of chasing, shooting, and killing him as he was jogging through a Brunswick neighborhood. A GBI investigator testified Travis McMichael never saw Arbery steal anything. That was the narrative at first, that he was a burglary suspect, but instead pursued him out of pure instinct, and that after the shooting, before police got there, Travis McMichael called Arbery a racial slur. Glenn County Judge Wallace Harrell found probable cause to proceed with the trial. However, it's not clear when further court dates will be set. Last night, I talked with Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, and the family attorney, Lee Merritt. I started by asking Ms. Cooper Jones to describe her day watching in that courtroom.
Today was a good day, I think. Again, I learned new information. Some of the information was shocking. It gave me a sense of closure of the last minutes of my son's life.
For a moment, you had to leave. Tell us about that moment where you decided that you wouldn't stand for listening to this anymore.
There was a testimony being given by discussing Ahmaud's mental illness. That being said, Ahmaud is no longer with us. I gathered that Ahmaud couldn't speak, and I was in a position where I couldn't speak in his behalf, so I chose to leave.
Mr. Merritt, I followed your live tweet and your live feed this morning. Tell me your biggest takeaways from today.
These were people who were clearly motivated by race. When they attacked Ahmaud, when they identified him as a criminal, when he defended themselves, they thought of him as a dangerous black man. The defense really leaned into the predatory black man image from somebody who was clearly under attack. It was honestly very bizarre how committed they were to this racism that made up their defense.
As a mom who feels this like none other, what is your response to what we're seeing, not even just in the country, but across the world right now in response to what has happened?
I'm very thankful at this point. I'm glad that the voices are being heard, not only in Ahmaud's case, but in all the other cases as well. I think that Ahmaud's death and Mr. Floyd's death as well will implement change. This change is what we need.
For more on my interview and a recap of how Ahmaud's case got to this point, be sure to visit this article. You can find it on the As Seen on TV section of our 11Alive app. We'll be right back.
Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information,
You know, each and every day we have been hearing from protesters about why they get out there and march so passionately. 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks, and so this is what you had to say.
This is something that Martin Luther King talked about from jail. You know, everyone coming together with faith.
Many of us, including myself, have been complicit with our silence. We haven't addressed these issues.
I think if you have a voice, if you can reach one person, two person, you should speak.
We stand against white supremacy and ending racism, and that this heartbreak affects all of us.
You can make progress happen while you're angry. It just has to be constructive, and the other side has to understand why the anger is there.
And we will work with our communities to do better because it is an urgent moment and we can't continue to watch people die.
We also have to remember that not only are we as Black people oppressed, but gender-wise, our sexual orientation, we're all oppressed by a whole system.
From the day one, this is all we wanted to see is real unity, because I know we're all hurting and I know we're all in so much pain. This is what it's gonna take. We can't fight hate with hate. We can't. I'm beyond joyful right now. So happy.
Atlanta police officers said to be concerned after 6 of their own were charged with using excessive force. But the district attorney says it is a clear-cut case. The two very different views on what the video shows.
It's almost impossible to filter what your children see online. Next, how to have the inevitable conversation with your kids on how to deal with racism and disturbing images on social media.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
Right now, it is quiet in downtown Atlanta, a much different scene from this time last Friday. While groups gathered around the area of Centennial Olympic Park all throughout the day, the crowds thinned out as an 8 p.m. curfew approached and the streets completely emptied not long after. Now, only police and the Georgia National Guard remain. Good evening, I'm Aisha Howard.
And I'm Jeff Hullinger. We're glad to have you here tonight. We were out all afternoon and evening as these protests grew and then they ended. Let's get an update as we begin the 9 o'clock hour as the protests have certainly continued most of the day. Hope Ford has the very latest for us.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. Again, you can see behind us, everything is pretty clear. It's just really the press and National Guard and APD who is out here at the corner of Centennial Olympic Park and Marietta Street right now. So tonight, whenever the curfew went into effect, we saw something a little bit different than we've seen in the last couple of nights. Instead of the APD moving forward with their shields in a straight line like we'd seen before, just a handful of officers walked out without shields, and they were followed by a handful of Georgia National Guard, and they were walking out into the crowd of maybe 30 people at that point in time. I believe Aisha helped us count for that, but maybe 30 people who were still kind of hanging around, and they were telling them, hey, you know, it's time to go home, please go home. You know, really kept emphasizing, please go home. And people were backing up, but they were still trying to, you know, stay around and have conversations with the police. There was one gentleman who got into a conversation with a police officer, and the police officer was telling him, hey, go home. And then a mystery woman stepped up, and she told the gentleman, hey, don't make this worse for us. You know, they're trying to enforce this order, this curfew. They're just doing their jobs. So please come, you know, let's all go home. And then she found a megaphone and turned around and led all of the protesters away as she kind of gave a message to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. We can't air a lot of her audio because it was laced with profanity, but she marched everyone away, and everyone kind of forgot about the police that were following behind them. But they marched all the way to the end of Centennial Olympic Park and turned right onto Lucky Street and went all the way down. And she was saying at some points, you know what, we're just going to continue to march. We're going to protest and march all the way to my car. And the police followed them for a little while until eventually they said, all right, hey, you really do have to go to your car now because we're going to have to enforce that order to arrest anyone that's still out way past curfew at that point in time. So she continued. She said, all right. She continued her march on to, and indeed continued it all the way to her car in a parking lot not far off. So that's how the night ended. It ended really with police coming out without shields this time, and with a little help from a woman who, just wanted to make sure that everyone went home at that point in time. And now it's clear. You see some of the members of the National Guard. They're probably about to walk behind me as they head back to where their headquarters has been for the last week. And of course, as always, a lot of them were saying a lot of the protesters were saying when they left, we'll be back tomorrow.
All right, Hope, thank you. The woman with the megaphone named Eva. Well, as nationwide protests continue following the death of George Floyd, Minneapolis takes steps to crack down on police brutality. The city council agreeing today with the Minnesota Department of Human Rights to ban police from using chokeholds. They will also require officers to report and intervene anytime they see an unauthorized use of force by another officer. George Floyd died last week after a Minneapolis police officer put a knee to his neck for more than 8 minutes. That officer and 3 others who did not stop him are now facing charges, while millions all around the world push for equal rights. President Trump is responding, saying he's happy things are starting to change.
We all saw what happened last week. We can't let that happen. Hopefully George is looking down right now and saying there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody. This is a great day for everybody. This is a great, great day in terms of equality.
Frustrated and furious, that is how the police union president describing Atlanta officers after 6 of them were charged with using excessive force against 2 college students last weekend. He told Caitlin Ross officers certainly are concerned and troubled by the protests and working through the protests tonight because of it, but the district attorney says the evidence here is clear.
The officers in the city are walking around like they lost 6 of their brothers. It's like a death.
Union President Jason Segura says the Atlanta police officers he's talked to are horrified that 6 of their own have been charged in a confrontation with 2 students from Spelman and Morehouse last Saturday, where the students were tased and pulled from a car. 2 of the officers were fired, and when Chief Erica Shields made the announcement, she said they were good guys who had a lapse in judgment.
These guys deserve the best. These guys are the highest trained people in the department, the most loyal people in the department, and to have the city turn their back on them is devastating.
In an internal memo, Chief Shields says the DA's announcement about the criminal charges against the officers took her by surprise, calling it a political move. Segura says he's looked through all of the body camera footage released by APD and says the footage captured before the 2 students were detained shows them speeding away from the officers and ignoring commands. He thinks District Attorney Paul Howard ignored that when he made the decision to charge the officers.
Well, he's painting a picture that he wants to paint. He's not painting the truth. Absolutely not.
District Attorney Paul Howard says he carefully reviewed the body camera footage and says all of the charges are appropriate.
They were arrested because they committed a crime, and I'm sure their job descriptions do not include committing a crime.
He says the officers working the protests tonight should feel confident in their ability to do their jobs. Segura isn't so sure.
When I say that we support the protesters, I mean that 100%. I don't know any officer who doesn't think what happened to Mr. Floyd was just what it is, murder. But this is the only profession that when one person does something, the entire police community is indicted for it.
One of the officers charged in the confrontation with the students is also involved in another high-profile case. Willie Sauls was one of several officers named in a lawsuit over Jamarion Robinson's death. Robinson was killed back in 2016 when he was shot 59 times as a U.S. Marshal Task Force tried to serve arrest warrants. The case is still unresolved with lawsuits pending. According to GBI, Saul never fired a weapon, but he was there with officers and helped secure the scene after the gunfire. Our Reveal investigators have been following this case for months. You can see our interviews with Robinson's family and the DA on 11alive.com. The daughter of the Atlanta police officer injured during protests last weekend gives an update on her father's recovery. Officer Max Brewer was hit by a speeding ATV on Saturday. You saw that ATV whipping there through the camera shot. That happened last Saturday while they were working the protest downtown. The protest had all wrapped up. Both of his legs are broken, and doctors say he has a long road to recovery ahead. His friend said today he is in horrific pain, but he is still able to make others laugh. One of his 4 children told us what kind of person he is.
He's one of the most genuine people that I've ever met, and I'm sad that something like that has happened to him, because he's the last person that deserves to go through something like that. I'm just happy that he's okay, and he's a fighter, so he'll fight and he'll get through it.
Just a couple of hours ago, APD posted on their Instagram account a photo of Officer Brewer smiling with his medical staff at Grady in good spirits. His family says the prayers and support of the community are helping get him through this. There is a GoFundMe set up, as you saw there, to help him out and his family. We have the details on 11alive.com.
Here's some other stories we are following right now. First, police chiefs across Georgia endorsing hate crime legislation, saying they are opposed to bigotry and prejudice in any form. The resolution calls for criminal sentencing of a person found guilty of targeting a victim because of race or bias that violates state code. Earlier today, Georgia's lieutenant governor tweeted his support for a hate crime bill, saying he is personally committed to drafting and passing something meaningful this session. Currently, Georgia is only one of 4 states without a hate crime law. The May unemployment rate, much better than expected. It's now 13.3% in the United States, but for minorities, the rate is much higher, at nearly 18% for Hispanics, 17% for African Americans. 2.5 million jobs were added, which is a positive reading in the middle of a pandemic. The man accused of a deadly hit and run in DeKalb County is now in jail. Tyrus Webster accused of stealing Basil Naylor's car early last month. Mr. Webster then allegedly hit Naylor with a car, ran him over several times, which resulted in his death. He is now facing numerous other charges, including an incident at the North DeKalb Mall that injured 4 children.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's Friday night, but we're still on Facebook Live tonight. We've got close to 150 people on. We had more than 200 just a little bit earlier. We're talking about the weather. A lot of folks are asking what to expect for the weekend and whether or not their plans are going to get rained out. And right now, as you look at radar, you can see that we have really mainly dry weather. There have been a couple of isolated showers to the north. We had stronger storms to the south earlier. Right now in town, this green that you're seeing popping up here, most of those are false echoes, not really all rain that's coming down right there. And you can see how things are calming down to the south. We had a lot of heavy rain earlier with thunder and lightning, even a few severe thunderstorm warnings on the south side, but that's all pushing to the south and fading out, and we're pretty quiet over most areas. Take a look though over into Alabama, between Birmingham and Montgomery, over into West Alabama, and then into Mississippi. Look at that system as it's been pushing down toward the south, a big wind event with this. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings back into Mississippi and parts of southern Alabama, but the good news about this is it's not moving our way. Those storms are going to push down to the south, down to along the coastal region, and not move into our direction. So things are going to be fine for us for the rest of the nighttime hours. In fact, take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. Earlier, I was telling you guys about how we were in the marginal risk over into Alabama and then the slight risk in Mississippi. Well, they've now taken that out. It's a marginal risk along that line of storms that we just showed you in Mississippi. Here in Atlanta, we're fine. We're just looking for general showers. And again, I think most of those are over for the nighttime hours, and rain chances are even lower for the weekend. Stay with us. We'll pinpoint those rain chances for you and let you know if the rain chances will go back up as the tropical storm moves closer to the Gulf Coast region. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes.
And if you are a mobile device watcher, you know where to find us. We are streaming right now on the 11 Alive YouTube channel. Subscribe and join the conversation in the community section. More 11 Alive news in prime time after the break.
This practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, Employees from Coca-Cola and interfaith leaders joined together to hold peaceful demonstrations today in downtown. A group of workers from Coca-Cola held a peaceful demonstration outside headquarters, then marched over to the Capitol. There, they joined another peaceful protest held by interfaith leaders. Dozens of people prayed and made their frustrations heard. As protests continue nationwide, Atlanta-based Delta is speaking out. Company CEO released a statement to employees. It reads in part, "We know words are not enough and that concrete actions and solutions are essential to reverse the long history of systemic racism and injustice that is a stain on our great nation." Atlanta-based Chick-fil-A is expressing its solidarity with Black employees and communities. In a statement, the company says, quote, "Our hearts are breaking for them." It adds, "Racism should have no place in society, not now, not ever," and promises at Chick-fil-A, "We know we have a role in moving all of us forward. We will listen and we will be intentional."
President Trump touting a rebound in U.S. jobs numbers today. More Americans heading back to work as states reopen for business, but the economic pain is far from over. It's NBC's Alice Barr.
President Trump today celebrating the first good economic news in weeks. As states begin lifting coronavirus lockdowns, the U.S. economy gained an unexpected 2.5 million jobs in May, and the national unemployment rate dropped to 13.3%, down from 14.7% in April.
We've been talking about the V. This is better than a V. This is a rocket ship.
But unemployment is still at the highest level since the Great Depression.
Black Lives Matter!
Protests over racial inequality continue all across America. The new job numbers show higher unemployment rates for Black Americans than their white counterparts. President Trump shushing a reporter asking about plans to address systemic racism before saying this.
What you now see, it's been happening, is the greatest thing that can happen for race relations, for the African American community.
The president also drawing immediate backlash for suggesting the economic news was good for George Floyd, whose death at the hands of Minneapolis police touched off the nationwide demonstrations.
Hopefully George is looking down right now and saying there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody.
Presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden out with a potent reminder. George Floyd's last words were, "I can't breathe."
For the president to try to put any other words in the mouths of George Floyd, I frankly think is despicable.
Biden also criticizing the president for bragging about the economy when so many people are still suffering.
Most of the showers that we were tracking earlier today have ended and they've pushed down to the south. We had just a couple of little isolated showers kind of lingering back behind over parts of North Georgia. And as I mentioned earlier, this stuff that you see here on this radar loop over North Georgia or over Metro Atlanta, some of this is false echoes. There might be just a couple of raindrops, coming out in a little bit of this, but it's nothing widespread and nothing heavy. We had those heavier storms earlier on the south side. That's all pushing to the south and moving away. And then we're also watching watching this storm system through Mississippi that's pushing down to the south, and then here through Alabama, south of Birmingham over toward Montgomery. A lot of lightning with that and wind along that line as well, with numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. But then here we are up here in Atlanta. This is way over here, and that's pushing to the south. That's not going to make it into North Georgia tonight. That is going to stay away from us. So we're going to be fine tonight and looking a little better for the weekend because our rain chances are lower for the weekend than what we had out there for today. Take a look at what we were watching. We mentioned earlier that risk area from the Storm Prediction Center earlier brought the marginal risk over a big part of Alabama just over to the Georgia line. Well, that's disappeared now. It's just that marginal risk along that line of storms that's moving through Mississippi right now. And we just have the general showers possible here, but even with that, for the rest of the nighttime hours, I really think most of us will not see any rain around at all. Temperatures are mild. It's kind of muggy out there still, 75 degrees here in town. LaGrange, you know, when the rain came through there earlier, temperatures dropped to 69, and it's held in the upper 60s there for most of the evening hours. Our temperatures made it into the lower 80s today, and then we fell into the 70s. We've been in the 70s ever since, and I really think we're going to stay in the 70s for the rest of the nighttime hours here. By tomorrow morning, right at 70, maybe even dipping down to 69 early in the morning right as the sun's coming up, and then we start warming up, and it is going to get hot during the day tomorrow with high temperatures up to 89 degrees, close to 90 degrees tomorrow. Here's the latest on Tropical Storm Cristobal. This is from the 8 o'clock advisory. Remember, yesterday it was downgraded to a tropical depression. It was over land, and now that it's back over water, it is getting a little bit stronger. It was upgraded earlier today back to a tropical storm. Maximum winds right at 40 miles an hour, moving to the north at 13 miles an hour, and that movement is going to continue. And as it goes through the central Gulf tomorrow afternoon, it is going to be up to about 50-mile-an-hour winds, and then continuing to move closer to Louisiana by Sunday. And we think later in the day on Sunday, that's when we're going to see landfall there. There are tropical storm warnings in effect for much of the Louisiana coastline, also the Mississippi coast and the Alabama coast, also in a tropical storm warning. They could see some tropical storm force winds there. A lot of rain, especially on this right-hand side, and that's just going to curve up into New Orleans. I think they're going to have some issues with flooding there. Once we get into late Sunday night into Monday, it's going to be inland, and then we watch the remnants of the system as it continues moving up toward the north. And as I've been saying all week long, we're on the right-hand side of this system, and so that's just going to keep pulling up some Gulf moisture into our area with the flow coming around this. And that's just going to increase our rain chances, especially as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday. We're going to go with the 7 on the wazometer tomorrow. Not a bad day. It's going to be hot, though. 89. We'll see a 30% chance for afternoon showers. Watch this tonight. Mainly dry. In the morning, a few clouds around. At lunchtime, mainly dry as well. And then in the afternoon, as you can see here, not a big-time coverage of rain. We're just going with a 30% chance for showers. And then on Sunday, the rain chance is going to be even lower. I think a lot of us will make it through the weekend with no rain around at all, but it's going to be hot. 89 Saturday, 88 Sunday, and then the rain chance is higher at 40 to 50% Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, thanks to that Gulf moisture spreading in some of those scattered showers. Back down to 30% Tuesday, and then right now, Friday looks rain-free, maybe a dry end of the week with highs near 86.
Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan really stepping up. He says he is creating a GoFundMe. He's done that already, and kicking in $500,000 to help improve the community for people of color in Atlanta. He wants everyone to help and donate. He will be working with Black business leaders, sports figures, activists, and local grassroots organizations to get guidance on how these donations can be most impactful. We have linked the page on 11alive.com. We'll be right back.
Your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear, on 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray.
The national profile of Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms continues to rise in America, and she has made strong statements about the protests here and about President Trump. NBC's Chuck Todd, the moderator of Meet the Press, joins me. Chuck, at least one national pundit writer has Mayor Bottoms now in his top 5 vice presidential picks for Joe Biden. What do you make of her ascension on the national stage?
It's been quite quick, but she does have a lot of people here in this town that are big proponents of her. And so it doesn't surprise me. And I think in some ways, Jeff, I think her inclusion on the list, and there's 2 ways to look at the Veep stakes list, and there's 2 ways to do it if you're Joe Biden. One is sometimes you add somebody to the list because you're trying to increase their star power. Maybe you want to help them raise their profile a little bit, and then sometimes you're simply wanting to cast a wider net so you can get a different pool of potential picks here. But I think the inclusion of her, and I think a lot of people take her inclusion very seriously. I think it means that, look at the choices Joe Biden has. Just among women of color, there's actually a diverse group of women of color to pick from, whether it's African Americans like Kamala Harris, Stacey Abrams, Val Demings, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Susan Rice, who are all on the list, or Latinos like the governor of New Mexico. And you've seen a senator out in Nevada who's since taken her name out. But the point is that I look at all of these folks being included on the list, and I think it means that Joe Biden, he'd have a lot of explaining to do if he doesn't pick a woman of color as his running mate.
It's very hard to see, as things have been moving so fast in the United States with social protest, oftentimes the interaction between government and protesters and other issues of violence and police and in all of this, about what the political ramifications are. What does it mean for a state like Georgia, which Democrats believe now is in play? Can David Perdue, the senator, be defeated in November? All of these are sort of this combustible mix right now, trying to understand what sort of shape it's going to take.
And look, I think one of these things is 2020 is not halfway over, Jeff. And think about everything that's happened. We've had an impeachment. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We've had this pandemic. We've had this protest movement, arguably the largest in a generation. All of this has happened in the first 5.5 months of this year. Don't be surprised if traditional political divides get scrambled. We've had too many sort of shakes at our system for it not to be scrambled. I mean, right now it still looks status quo-ish, believe it or not. We have a new NBC News Wall Street Journal call that we're going to debut on Sunday. And a lot of people are going to be, by God, we've had all this happen and Trump's numbers have moved about a point. You think, what's going on? But don't be surprised come closer to November if we just see a shift one way or the other. And if you see a shift in a community that is unexpected, I just think I think things are a lot more uncertain in the political world than we make them out to be.
Yeah. Meet the Press will be here 10 a.m. on 11Alive Sunday. Chuck, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast, not enough for you?
Ambassador, do you think Henry Grady needs to have his name erased from Atlanta, whether it's the statue downtown or it's Grady High School or the Grady School of Journalism at the University of Georgia? Has the time come to take his name off of Grady Hospital as well?
Well, I differ from a lot of people on this because I think our history is our history. And I still quote Henry Grady about us being a brave and beautiful city. And I don't know enough about his racist background, but at the time in which he lived, everybody was living on slavery. And you start with Grady and you get rid of Thomas Jefferson. I mean, that's our history, and I'm content with it. I don't like it. Even Stone Mountain, it's a beautiful technical work of art. Now, I don't agree with any of the four persons there, but I don't think that ought to be desecrated. What I would like to do, I would like to put a big freedom bell on top of Stone Mountain, because Martin Luther King said, "Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain." And I think building on our past rather than trying to destroy our past. It's not a worthwhile fight. And one of the reasons I decided this was that our traffic problems are directly related to a fight over the Confederate flag. And the Confederate flag didn't do anybody any harm. But fighting over the Confederate flag, we lost the outer perimeter. And by losing the outer perimeter, we're choked on traffic. And everybody pays an hour a day extra penance because of a fight on the flag. Now, I just think we ought to save our fights for things that are directly related to substance and power and privilege. The symbols of the past, well, I didn't know what they were, but it just seemed very primitive when Al Qaeda blew up some of the statues from 6th century BC. Now, I don't even know who they were, but they damaged and desecrated the art of a privilege, of a
Right.
period.
It was that ancient, one of the oldest temples in the world. Right.
Yeah.
I remember that. The Taliban.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, and so I think some people have put up descriptions of the persons and the situation that call for it, so that you know the history. But any real works of art of the past and the symbols of the past, I think are worth, well, they're worth keeping.
Ralph McGill and his place in Atlanta history, in conjunction with the attempt to make our lives all better, the years of the civil rights movement, and Ralph McGill's place in Atlanta, I think, is oftentimes forgotten. About, one of the, as Dr. King said, one of the first white people to understand the plight of African Americans in the South.
Well, Ralph McGill was a man of conscience and wisdom. And the fact that he wrote 11,000 columns in the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, and it was always down the left-hand side of the page. And he spoke the truth as he understood it, as accurately as possible. He wasn't always right. I think he was very good on race, but he got very upset with Dr. King.
Dr. King cared what Ralph McGill wrote and read him every day in the Constitution.
Well, all of us did. And he was the conscience of the South. But again, he was very right on the race issue, but he and Dr. King disagreed on Vietnam. And even when Martin was asked a question about China, and he wasn't trying to be controversial. We were coming out of the meeting with Ambassador Goldberg at the United Nations, and the press stopped us and they asked him, well, what did you talk about? And he was very conscious. He said, no, this was Ambassador Goldberg's meeting. He should report on it. And so they said, well, what did you talk about China? And he said, let Ambassador Goldberg speak to what we talked about. Well, what are your opinion on China? And he said, well, 800 million people will not disappear just because we refuse to recognize that they're there. And that was, Martin was blasted from coast to coast by every liberal newspaper in the country for saying a simple truth like that. So Ralph McGill was not perfect, but he was the best we had for 11,000 columns. And I don't know how many years that was, but he was sort of the moral compass of the region. And whether you believe it or not, you had to argue about what he was thinking.
And final question, as we get ready for the weekend here, how do you interpret the weekends of the days of the last week? Are you pleased to see the progress toward nonviolence? Are you pleased at how this has sort of progressed?
Well, I really am, and I think that the demonstrators have done a wonderful job, and I think the turnout all over the world has been phenomenal. But it says that the world cares about human rights, and it cares about police and community relationship, and we've got to govern each other in mutual respect. And as mayor, I realized that, well, I think we lost more policemen during my time as mayor than we did citizens being hurt by police. Only one occasion, and it was down in Cabbagetown, where a white policeman and a young white man got in a difficulty, and the young man got shot by the policeman, and I had to go to apologize to the parents. But they said that he was a kid with problems with drugs, and that he'd been acting strangely here lately, and they didn't want to see him killed, but they understood that he was probably at fault. But every police community situation is very, very sensitive, and I think we've got to continue to do things like we did in the community policing days. That costs a little money, but I'd like to see police at our recreation centers without their guns and their rifle and their weapons, their badges, police athletic league, working with the young people in the community, visiting the schools, building personal relationships, because it takes a whole community to be crime-free. And we can't leave our security and safety just to the police. We've got to be partners with the police to have a safe and secure and free community. And we have been. I was really proud of our police chief for being out there, and our mayor. But then Ivan Allen was up on top of a car with a bullhorn in the midst of some difficulties in the 60s.
I think I'm the only anchor guy left in Atlanta who knew Ivan Allen personally. I'm the last of my breed, I'm afraid.
Well, you're looking good and you're doing
you
good.
do.
Thank
Ambassador, thanks for your time. I greatly appreciate it as always, and I hope you do well for the weekend, and only the best. Thanks again, sir.
All right, God bless you.
You too.
Still to come, we speak to Ahmaud Arbery's mother. What an investigator revealed that forced her to leave the courtroom in tears. Next.
The people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted.
A South Georgia judge says there is enough evidence to move forward with the trial against 3 men charged with killing Ahmaud Arbery. Arbery was shot and killed in Brunswick back in February. 3 men are charged in his death, accused of chasing, shooting, and killing him as he jogged in a Brunswick neighborhood. A GBI investigator testified Travis McMichael never saw Arbery steal anything. That was the narrative before, that he was a burglary suspect in the area. But instead, Travis and his father and their neighbor pursued him out of instinct, and that after the shooting, before police got there, Travis McMichael called Arbery a racial slur. Glenn County Judge Wallace Harrell found probable cause to proceed with the trial. However, it's not clear when further court dates will be set. Last night, I had a chance to talk with Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, and the family attorney, Lee Merritt. I started by asking Ms. Cooper Jones to describe her day watching in that courtroom.
Today was a good day, I think. Again, I learned new information. Some of the information was shocking. It gave me a sense of closure of the last minutes of my son's life.
For a moment, you had to leave. Tell us about that moment where you decided that you wouldn't stand for listening to this anymore.
There was a testimony being given by discussing Ahmaud's mental illness. That being said, Ahmaud is no longer with us. I gathered that Ahmaud couldn't speak, and I was in a position where I couldn't speak in his behalf, so I chose to leave.
Mr. Mayor, I followed your live tweet and your live feed this morning. Tell me your biggest takeaways from today.
These were people who were clearly motivated by race. When they attacked Ahmaud, when they identified him as a criminal, when he defended themselves, they thought of him as a dangerous black man. The defense really leaned into the predatory black man image from somebody who was clearly under attack. It was honestly very bizarre how committed they were to this racism that made up their defense.
As a mom who feels this like none other, what is your response to what we're seeing, not even just in the country, but across the world right now in response to what has happened?
I'm very thankful at this point. I'm glad that the voices are being heard, not only in Ahmaud's case, but in all the other cases as well. I think that Ahmaud's death and Mr. Floyd's death as well will implement change. This change is what we need.
For more on my interview and a recap of how Ahmaud's case got to this point, be sure to visit this article. You can find it in the As Seen on TV section of the 11Alive app.
Still keeping an eye on just a few of those isolated showers. As we mentioned earlier, most of the action has been on the south side, but we have been watching just a couple of isolated showers here on the north side. Most of those just kind of pop up and then they fall apart. There's one right up here, just north of Cherokee County into Pickens County, where we see a shower that just kind of developed there. It had a little bit of moderate to heavy rain with it, and now it's raining itself out as it moves down to the south. That's really all that we're going to be seeing tonight, just a couple of those spotty showers. We had some false echoes around Atlanta earlier. Just a couple of those could have had a little bit of just a few raindrops coming out of it, but nothing big, nothing heavy, nothing widespread around metro Atlanta. Most of us are dry. And then it's down to the south, and we had those showers a little bit earlier, and they continue to be more down to the south as well. Look back into Alabama, though, between Birmingham and Montgomery, plenty of heavy rain, a lot of lightning there. That's part of the system that is kind of bowing out here as it moves through Mississippi with some really strong winds and severe thunderstorms in the southern parts of Mississippi, but that's not going to move toward us. We're going to stay mainly dry tonight. Just a couple of those little isolated little pop-up showers around, and then most of those will be dying out this evening. Let me show you what we're watching out there right now. You can see what was going on today with our almanac. We did get up to 83 degrees for our high temperature this afternoon, and then the rain came and it cooled us down into the 70s, and we've been in the 70s ever since. The average high for this time of year is 85, so we were just a couple of degrees below that. And we picked up about 1/4 of an inch of rain today. Some of you got more, some of you got less. There were some areas that got some of that heavy rain with the thunder and lightning. That was a lot more than 1/4 of an inch, but officially at Atlanta, 1/4 of an inch. We are 14.5 inches above average in rainfall so far for the year. That's a good thing to have such a big surplus as we're going into those summer months. Now, I want to show you this map. This shows us the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. The yellows and the greens that you see there and the oranges, that's where we see more moisture. When you see the blue colors, that's where it's some drier air coming in, and that's drier air is coming into North Georgia right now, and that's going to be kind of moving into our area tomorrow. Rain chances on the lower end tomorrow at only 30% in the afternoon. But look at all the moisture that's down to the south. It's going to be dry again, we think, on Sunday with only a 20% chance for showers. But this tropical moisture, that is what's coming in relation to Tropical Storm Cristobal on Sunday, and all that moisture moves into the Gulf Coast region. Eventually, that's going to start moving our way. We'll see our moisture content in the air increasing on Monday as that really rich tropical moisture is going to be well out to the west, but we'll stay rather moist and humid here on Tuesday with the rain chances coming up even more, and on Wednesday as well. But then I want you to see what happens by the end of the week. That moisture moves out, the drier air comes in late Thursday and into Friday. We'll finally see some of that drier air returning here, and we see those rain chances going down once we get toward the end of the week. Now tomorrow, rain chances are on the low end at 30%, and then even lower on Sunday at 20%, with highs near 90 both days. We go back to that 40% chance for showers Monday, 50% chance on Wednesday as more of that tropical rich moisture moves our way, and then back to a 40% chance Wednesday. 30% on Thursday as the rain chance goes down as that drier air moves in. And right now, next Friday, looks like a rain-free day with high temperatures near 86 degrees.
So you've attended a protest during a pandemic. Now what? Tonight, one Emory doctor and professor weighs in on the next steps. 11Alive spoke with Dr. Jay Varkey, an associate professor of infectious diseases at Emory University. He says he understands the importance and the need to protest, but he is concerned about the health of the African American community.
The data is very clear that people in the United States who are Black are more likely to develop COVID-19, are diagnosed later in their course, have increased rates of hospitalization, and increased risk of serious complications, including death.
Dr. Varkey encouraging many to bring hand sanitizer, also to wear face coverings, some sort of mask. He also is urging protesters to get tested for COVID-19 immediately.
11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11.
The protests across the country and in our state driving the question, where do we go from here? 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks, and as we end this hour of prime time, we are listening.
This is something that Martin Luther King talked about from jail. Everyone coming together with faith.
Many of us, including myself, have been complicit with our silence. We haven't addressed these issues.
I think if you have a voice, if you can reach one person, two person, you should speak.
We stand against white supremacy and ending racism, and that this heartbreak affects all of us.
You can make progress happen while you're angry. It just has to be constructive, and the other side has to understand why the anger is there.
And we will work with our communities to do better, because it is an urgent moment and we can't continue to watch people die.
We also have to remember that not only are we as Black people oppressed, but gender-wise, our sexual orientation, we're all oppressed by a whole system.
From the day one, this is all we wanted to see, is real unity, because I know we're all hurting and I know we're all in so much pain. This is what it's gonna take. We can't fight hate with hate. We can't. I'm beyond joyful right now, so happy.
Coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
It has been a tale of two cities, all quiet on the streets of Atlanta tonight. The 8th day of protests, calmer than day one.
Yeah, last Friday night, demonstrations evolved into destruction. Things quickly got out of hand, including damage to buildings such as CNN, and cars burned downtown. And there was also several reports of looting across the city. But the city took control after that, Jeff, adding backup from the National Guard and other agencies, and also adding a citywide curfew.
And tonight, Ron, that curfew was moved back an hour to 8 o'clock, and it will be there all weekend long. Our team coverage begins with Hope Ford in downtown Atlanta. No major issues with curfew tonight from what we've seen, Hope.
Oh yeah, everything has been very calm. It's been very calm for the last few days. And, you know, I had just heard you guys talking about, you know, last Friday and a lot of things have happened along the way. And it really shows you the difference that a week makes. So we're just going to take you back to last Friday very briefly and just, after a huge peaceful protest, the night turned, with fires and looting and hours long standoff with police. Then Saturday continued with peaceful protests, but it was the first night the Georgia National Guard joined in full force behind the Atlanta Police Department and the first night of curfew. Police gave a long grace period before starting to push the line and make several arrests. And then more peaceful protests on Tuesday, with the largest crowd returning to Centennial Olympic Park really since the weekend. And that night, the Georgia National Guard changed their tactics by blocking all roads and funneling anyone breaking curfew into one area. A massive amount of tear gas was deployed that night that me and my photographer actually got caught in. Now, the next two nights, no tear gas was used as protests continued. And after witnessing the tensions of the past few nights, several protesters tried to lighten the mood. And at one point on Thursday, last night, protesters even invited members of the Georgia National Guard to dance with them right before that curfew. And tonight, as the protest began, the Black Lives Matter drum line came out to lift the spirits of protesters. And one drummer told me, you know, we're talking, so we thought we would try something else to get people to listen. And then later tonight, members of the Alpha Phi Alpha came out and encouraged the massive crowd to kneel for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That's the amount of time the knee remained on George Floyd's neck. And today is also what would have been Breonna Taylor's 27th birthday. So protesters said this moment was a reminder of why they're here in the first place. And when curfew approached tonight, instead of coming out with shields and riot gear, police, they simply walked out to the people remaining and asking them to go home. But it was this woman named Eva who grabbed a bullhorn and led the remaining crowd away in a mini march to their cars. And as we've heard all the protesters say every night, no matter what happened, they said, you know, we're continuing this, we're not stopping, and we will be back tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Hope Ford reporting live for us downtown Atlanta. And we're expecting thousands of people to show up tomorrow to continue that protest. John Sherrick continues our team coverage with the latest, and he's downtown right now. John?
Ron, one of the demonstrators here tonight, one of the many demonstrators who have been here 8 nights in a row, tells me he keeps coming back, not just to chant and wave his signs, although he does do that, but he actually engages Atlanta police one-on-one. Xavier Lewis of Atlanta and many other demonstrators engage in deep conversations with police officers about racism, racial justice, police brutality, and excessive use of force. Lewis says he's talked with Atlanta's Mayor Bottoms, too. He's looking to make allies. He's ready now to take these protests to city councils, state legislatures, and the U.S. Congress to end racial injustices and increase police transparency.
Laws have to be changed. Police have to be held accountable. So until that happens, we're going to be out here. We need a law change. That's what needs to happen. It's when there are words put to paper and those papers are passed.
A big mission and big goals. Of course, no one person, no one group speaks for all, but all who are out here every day and every night speak with one voice to try to provoke those in power to react and to work with them. Ron and Jeff, back to you.
Okay, John, thank you. Outrage in police ranks after 6 Atlanta officers are charged with using excessive force after 2 college students were tased and pulled from a car on Saturday. The police union telling 11Alive that fellow officers feel like the 6 were charged for just doing their job. But the district attorney, Paul Howard, standing by his decision, telling our Caitlin Ross the body camera footage backs him up. Tonight, the 2 sides are at odds over what transpired.
They want a certain type of optic, and I think they overreacted. They overreacted a lot, and I think it's going to come back to bite them.
Police Union President Jason Segura says charging 6 Atlanta police officers in last Saturday's confrontation with 2 students from Spelman and Morehouse was a political move that's made officers still on the job scared they'll be next.
I would say that's completely bull. The officers from Atlanta are guys who work hard, who want to make sure the law is applied. They want to make sure it's applied equally and fairly.
District Attorney Paul Howard says he carefully reviewed the body camera footage and the charges for all 6 officers are appropriate.
We did not have a great deal of difficulty making charging decisions. So when the evidence is there, our philosophy is you should move.
But the union president believes the evidence shows the 2 college students were not following officers' orders, and officers followed their training in detaining them. The charges against those students have been dropped, but the protests against police brutality and the death of George Floyd in Minnesota continue across the country tonight.
For every 1 million good things we do, we have one idiot who does something like that. We are here and we chose this profession. And that's why we're standing on the front lines. That's why we're not leaving. That's why when everybody else pulled out, we're still standing there. And it's becoming harder and harder to do.
One of the officers charged in the confrontation with the students is also involved in another high-profile case. Willie Sauls was one of several officers named in a lawsuit over Jamarian Robinson's death. Robinson was killed in 2016 when he was shot 59 times as a U.S. Marshal Task Force tried to serve arrest warrants. That case still unresolved with lawsuits pending. According to the GBI, Saul never fired a weapon, but he was there with officers and helped secure the scene after the gunfire. Our Reveal investigators have been following this case for months. You can see our interviews with Robinson's family and the district attorney on 11alive.com.
Today, the daughter of an injured Atlanta police officer says that he is grateful for the community's love and support.
It's everyone's love and support that'll get him through this tough time. He's a fighter, so he'll fight and he'll get through it.
Motorcycle officer Max Brewer was on duty Saturday night blocking traffic near protesters at the corner of Marietta and Spring Streets when he was struck by a speeding ATV. Well, Brewer was seriously hurt. He has 2 broken legs. He had surgery and is still in the hospital. And police say that the ATV driver, 42-year-old Avery Goggins, was not seriously injured. He faces several charges, including DUI and reckless driving.
New photos released today as several people wanted for questioning after a man was badly beaten at Underground Atlanta. Police releasing these photos of the suspects, including one that appears to have a tattoo across the back of his neck. Craig Waters was left with broken bones and bruises after he was attacked last Friday. Walters manages the Underground Atlanta properties, and he was out there assessing the damage from vandals who had smashed windows and broken in businesses. If you recognize the suspects who allegedly attacked him, you're asked to call APD.
If you want change in America, go and register to vote. Show up at the polls on June 9th. Do it in November.
Don't stop until everyone who's able to vote exercises their citizenship right.
Leaders are calling on Georgians, particularly minorities, to use their ballots to enact change, and people are answering that call. Voters by the hundreds waited in line at Fulton County's early voting sites today, the final day to vote early ahead of Tuesday's primary. Fulton County officials say that some in line had given up on their absentee ballots. Doug Richards has more.
Over here you can see voters waiting in line, and what you can't see in front of them is hundreds, at least 200 more voters waiting in line. And then go back this way and you can see voters waiting in line all the way up the street, all the way past the point down the street where you can't see them snaking past that corner anymore. For weeks, state officials have tried to encourage voters to use absentee ballots and skip in-person voting because of the COVID pandemic. Late this morning, at the Garden Hills precinct, there was a thunderstorm that soaked many of the more than 200 voters waiting in line. They waited because fewer voters than usual were allowed inside the precinct. Sanitizing and social distancing slowed everything down. Absentee ballots were supposed to keep voters away from here, but Fulton County had its own hurdles in getting the thousands of absentee ballots mailed in time. And many of those voters had to scramble to vote in person.
The program was designed to give folks, the option to not vote in person. And unfortunately, I think that our delay in processing and, the inability to get the emailed ballots processed has resulted in the long lines you're talking about. And I think it's very unfortunate.
Fulton County says voters with absentee ballots can still drop off those ballots, if they have them, at 20 boxes specially marked for absentee ballots distributed around Fulton County. Fulton County says the 20 of them are enumerated on a website, which you can find if you find this story on 11alive.com. Back to you.
A reminder, throughout this election year, you can count on 11 Alive's Decision 2020 team to bring you analysis and perspective on the big issues impacting your life, like the economy.
Speaking of the economy, some positive numbers, but is it a shot in the arm or only a temporary reprieve? The numbers that have surprised many coming up next.
We had some showers, thunder, and lightning earlier today. A lot of that has moved out. We've had just a couple little isolated showers left behind. Stay with us. We'll let you know if we'll see any additional rain developing as we head into the weekend.
On 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth.
Another look at downtown Atlanta more than 2 hours after curfew. There will be 8 p.m. curfews both Saturday and Sunday as well. A father knows all too well about the pain suffered by the family of George Floyd in Minneapolis. His own son was shot and killed last year by an Atlanta police officer. Joe Hankey talked with Tonight and joins us now from downtown Atlanta. Joe.
Well, Jeff, over the past week here in downtown Atlanta and again tonight at the protest was the father of Jimmy Atchison. Atchison, a 21-year-old Atlanta man who was killed last year during an officer-involved shooting. His father, Jimmy Hill, tells me he keeps coming to the protests here in downtown Atlanta to be a voice for his son.
I'm out here to be a voice, not just Jimmy, but I'm out here to be a lot of these victims' voice, because, you know, it's just not right. You just can't take a life just because you feel like you want to take it. And it's just time for this, with this racism, it's time for it to be treated as equal and not use their possessions all the time.
Jimmy Hill's son, Jimmy Atchison, died in January of 2019 after being shot as a joint task force from the FBI and Atlanta Police Department served a warrant for Atchison at an Adamsville neighborhood apartment complex connected to an armed robbery case. As police served that warrant for Atchison, he hid in a closet. Atchison's family tells 11Alive he was unarmed, and GBI investigators told them he was giving conflicting commands from officers. When he got up, he was shot and killed by APD officer Sung Kim.
I just want to thank you for all this standing with us, and let's continue to fight.
Hill spoke tonight at a small protest that gathered near Atlanta Police headquarters before marching to Centennial Olympic Park to meet up with groups from several other small protests. Hill said his heart broke when he watched the video of George Floyd's death, but he is thankful there is video in Floyd's case to show what happened.
Like in my son's case, it wasn't a video, so it's more easy for people to get away with things when they're in a video. So I think the George Floyd situation, my condolences to his family, I think they just put the light and put a bright light on everything. People are tired.
And Hill tells me he is thankful following his son's death that APD pulled out of participating in federal task force. Federal policy does not allow for body cameras to be worn during operations, despite the fact that APD officers on duty wear body cameras. It's the reason there is no video of Atchison's shooting. And currently, the case still under review by the district attorney's office here in Fulton County. Officer Sung Kim, he retired late last year from APD.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. You know, President Trump is now touting a stunning rebound in U.S. job numbers today, with more Americans heading back to work as states reopen for business, like Georgia here. But the economic pain is far from over. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
President of the United States.
President Trump today celebrating the first good economic news in weeks. As states begin lifting coronavirus lockdowns, the U.S. economy gained an unexpected 2.5 million jobs in May, and the national unemployment rate dropped to 13.3%, down from 14.7% in April.
We've been talking about the V. This is better than a V. This is a rocket ship.
But unemployment is still at the highest level since the Great Depression.
Black Lives Matter!
Protests over racial inequality continue all across America. The new job numbers show higher unemployment rates for Black Americans than their white counterparts. President Trump shushing a reporter asking about plans to address systemic racism before saying this.
What you now see, it's been happening, is the greatest thing that can happen for race relations, for the African American community.
The president also drawing immediate backlash for suggesting the economic news was good for George Floyd, whose death at the hands of Minneapolis police touched off the nationwide demonstrations.
Hopefully George is looking down right now and saying there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody.
Presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden out with a potent reminder. George Floyd's last words were, "I can't breathe."
For the president to try to put any other words in the mouths of George Floyd, I frankly think is despicable.
Biden also criticizing the president for bragging about the economy when so many people are still suffering.
And with Americans increasingly coming into closer contact from the Memorial Day weekend to large-scale protests taking place all across our country, there are growing concerns about a second wave of coronavirus cases that could set back the economic recovery.
All right, Ron, let's join Chris, who has been a busy man, with a look at what's been going on. Chris, how about an update for the weekend as well?
Yeah, we're seeing those rain chances that are coming down. We had those showers and storms that rolled through a little bit earlier today. Those were heavier on the south side. We had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings on the south side earlier. Everything has kind of stopped and moved down to the south. In Atlanta, we're doing okay. We've been tracking a couple of showers, though. Still just a couple isolated showers that are still popping up in some spots. This one was in Pickens County earlier, just kind of developed and now has fallen apart. And I wanted to show you that because that could happen anywhere tonight. Just maybe one or two lone little isolated showers could pop up, but nothing really widespread. We've had a few false echoes around metro Atlanta tonight, a couple of those where we have some clouds that maybe a few raindrops were coming out of, but it wasn't anything big or widespread. The showers on the south side from earlier have moved away, and now we're watching these storms back into Alabama, south of Birmingham, west of Montgomery. These are going to push down to the south, and then more of these storms. These, as they were coming through Mississippi earlier, had a lot of wind with them, heavy rain and lightning, and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings there. But as you can see, that's pushing down toward the south. It is not moving up here toward Atlanta, so we're not worried about that system pushing into our direction. Let me show you what we're watching out there right now. You know, that severe weather threat is mainly over into Mississippi tonight, and it's a low risk threat. You can see that marginal risk, that dark green color between Jackson and New Orleans. That's where where we're seeing that area of rain that's moving through right now. Earlier, that marginal risk extended over into Alabama and right up to the Georgia line, but now that's been taken away, and we just have general isolated showers possible tonight, but we don't expect anything severe. Temperatures, you know, cooled down after the rain came in today. We got up to 83 degrees, and then during the afternoon, we had some showers come by. That dropped us into the 70s, and we've been in the 70s pretty much ever since. Carrollton and LaGrange, you're a little cooler at 69. We also have 60s in Blairsville and in Clayton. We'll pretty much be holding with these temperatures right pretty much where we are right now in the lower 70s for the rest of the evening hours. Also overnight, we'll dip down into those lower 70s. And then tomorrow morning, a mixture of sunshine and clouds with dry weather to start. Temperatures up to 78 by 10. It's going to warm up very quickly tomorrow, and then only a low risk for some isolated showers tomorrow. Take a look at Tropical Storm Cristobal. We're waiting for the latest advisory to come out by 11 o'clock tonight. This is based on the 8 p.m. advisory showing that the storm is a tropical storm. It was a depression earlier over land. Now it's a tropical storm again with 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to keep moving northward through the central Gulf tomorrow afternoon, 50-mile-an-hour winds, and then nearing the Louisiana coastline and making landfall, we think, later in the day on Sunday, where much of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama have tropical storm warnings. It'll move inland late Sunday into early on Monday and then diminish. But since, again, we're on that right-hand side of this system, it's just going to enhance the Gulf moisture moving our way. And by next week, we're going to see some better chances for rain coming in. Just scattered showers thanks to that additional moisture. Tomorrow's rain chance on the low end at 30%. I really think most of us will be dry on Sunday, only a 20% chance for a shower. And then on Monday, 40% chance for rain, a little better chance on Tuesday with highs in the mid-80s. And then the rain chances start coming down after that system moves more up to the north. And look at the dry weather by the end of the week on Friday. Right now it's looking rain-free with a high of 86. Take a look at your weather wow moment for the day. And this is a crazy video. Look at that. That's a landslide. That is land that is moving along there in Norway. 8 buildings were swept into the water when a large piece of land just slowly broke away and it collapsed. That was on Wednesday in the Alta area of Norway. We'd love to see your weather wow moment, and a lot of times we get the local ones from our 11Alive community storm trackers. And that's a Facebook page, a Facebook group that we have that you can become a part of. On Facebook, just search 11Alive storm trackers. Ask to become a member of that closed group. We will let you in, and you can be a part also of this local exclusive weather community.
While millions protest worldwide, getting out and marching is not for everybody. Next, we take a different look at ways that you can be an ally from the sidelines.
Extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
All right, here's a question we've received from many of you out there, folks. How can you be a better ally during this time?
And at 11Alive, we are Where Atlanta Speaks. Elwin Lopez now looking into this today to give you some answers.
Chants for change, signs against racial injustice. It's a push against police brutality and systemic racism. Many of you reached out to us saying you can't march the streets, asking us for other ways to support the Black Lives Matter movement. Like Alicia, who wrote, quote, I'm interested in other ways for the community to get involved that doesn't involve a physical protest. And Carol, who told us she's a, quote, 64-year-old white grandmother at a loss on what she can do to support change. while Dr. Sharon Miller told us she is doing her part.
And my role in this movement is to peacefully protest and to effect positive social change and to stay prayed up for this country, for this nation, for this world.
I spoke to the Georgia NAACP state president who says there are a few easy ways to support the cause from home.
You might not be able to protest and show up, in the streets, but you can join an organization that are doing the advocacy work on a daily basis.
Joining an advocacy group is one way to be an ally to the cause, says James Woodall. So is voting and keeping your elected officials accountable.
Demand that they take action on the demands that those who are marching and demonstrating and protesting. They're calling for the kinds of public policy and the structural and systematic changes that do not lend itself into more Black death.
Atlanta NAACP President Richard Rose says another way is to support Black-owned businesses.
Unfortunately, in the state of Georgia, less than 2% of state contracts go to Black-owned businesses. And those things could help not only the Black business owners, but the Black business employees.
The NAACP says that they will be holding a virtual town hall as well as other events that you can join from home. We will be adding those to our 11alive.com website so that you can check them out for yourself.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to be heading out, getting ready for Up Late coming up in about 30 minutes over on 11 Alive. So, folks, I'll see you over there with Aisha. By the way, I'm at home right now, Jeff, and I need to run upstairs and say hello to Mrs. Jones
Ron,
before I come back down.
Hang on a second.
Get ready.
Yeah, hang on, Ron. Stay right there. I am receiving an update from management here. I'm reading this as I'm receiving it. Tell Ron that he needs to stay right where he is, that we need him to anchor the next 30 minutes as well. Signed, Dave Luigi, president of Tegna. Okay, no, never mind. All right, good night. Good night. Good night, Ron. We'll see you at 11 o'clock on the big, on 11 Alive. All right, we're taking a closer look at COVID-19 cases in one metro Atlanta county. It showed a big increase last week.
Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate.
Here's a look at a mural of George Floyd, formerly of Minneapolis in downtown Atlanta. This is at Marietta Street and Ivan Allen Jr. Boulevard. It is the image on a quiet night to remember the 8th night of protests in the city. Now to new information about last Friday's unrest in Atlanta. The GBI believes a coordinated effort was responsible for much of the violence and the destruction. GBI Director Vic Reynolds says while the overwhelming majority arrested since Friday are from Georgia, there are several from out of state with a violent history. The GBI looked at more than 400 arrests from Friday to Monday. 84% of them were from Georgia. But the ones outside the state have a history. For instance, one man from Minnesota, the authorities believe he took part in the riots in that city before coming to Atlanta. A Florida man was arrested, had several charges for assault from the riots in Ferguson in 2014, and 10 people were all bonded out of jail by the same individual who lives out of state.
Indicates to us that they were connected in some fashion, and so we're trying our best with our federal partners to see what those connections are.
Director Reynolds told 11Alive that he is working with the FBI to find out if these kinds of coordinated efforts are happening in other parts of the country. He said at this time he cannot say who these groups are. The city of Minneapolis now taking steps to crack down on police brutality. The city council agreeing today with the Minnesota Department of Human Rights to ban police from using chokeholds. They will also require officers to report and intervene anytime they see an unauthorized use of force by another officer. As nationwide protests continue following the death of George Floyd, renewed anger over new violence on the part of police. The latest incident in Buffalo, where police are shown on video causing injury to an older man. Here's NBC's Susan McGinnis with the story, and the video is disturbing.
2 Buffalo police officers suspended after video showing them knocking a man to the ground who approached them during a protest. 75-year-old protester Martin Gugino left bleeding as officers filed past. The police commissioner and DA have launched investigations. From New York's governor, astonishment.
Why? Why was that necessary? Where was the threat?
The shocking video taken on the 10th night of protests of George Floyd's death, adding to other incidents of authorities responding with violence to peaceful protesters. Today, the fight for justice continues. In Boston, healthcare workers take a knee to support victims of police violence.
No one should live in fear.
In Florida, the Jacksonville Jaguars protested police brutality, fighting for change, if not today, tomorrow.
You may not see the results from this, but your grandkids will. Your kids will.
President Trump seemingly referring to today's job numbers, calling today a good day for George Floyd.
Hopefully George is looking down right now and saying there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody.
But for an 11th day, protesters continue their march for a better day.
The national profile of Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms continues to rise in America, and she has made strong statements about the protests here and about President Trump. NBC's Chuck Todd, the moderator of Meet the Press, joins me. Chuck, at least one national pundit writer has Mayor Bottoms now in his top 5 vice presidential picks for Joe Biden. What do you make of her ascension on the national stage?
It's been quite quick, but she does have a lot of people here in this town that are big proponents of her. And so it doesn't surprise me. And I think in some ways, Jeff, I think her inclusion on the list, and there's two ways to look at the Veep stakes list, and there's two ways to do it if you're Joe Biden. One is sometimes you add somebody to the list because you're trying to increase their star power. Maybe you want to help them raise their profile a little bit, and then sometimes you're simply wanting to cast a wider net so you can get a different pool of potential picks here. But I think the inclusion of her, and I think a lot of people take her inclusion very seriously. I think it means that, look at the choices Joe Biden has. Just among women of color, there's actually a diverse group of women of color to pick from, whether it's African Americans like Kamala Harris, Stacey Abrams, Val Demings, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Susan Rice, who are all on the list, or Latinos like the governor of New Mexico. And you've seen a senator out in Nevada who's since taken her name out. But the point is that I look at all of these folks being included on the list, and I think it means that Joe Biden, he'd have a lot of explaining to do if he doesn't pick a woman of color as his running mate.
It's very hard to see, as things have been moving so fast in the United States with social protest, oftentimes the interaction between government and protesters and other issues of violence and police and all of this, about what the political ramifications are. What does it mean for a state like Georgia, which Democrats believe now is in play? Can David Perdue, the senator, be defeated in November? All of these are sort of this combustible mix right now, trying to understand what sort of shape it's going to take.
And look, I think one of these things is 2020 is not halfway over, Jeff. And think about everything that's happened. We've had an impeachment. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We've had this pandemic. We've had this protest movement, arguably the largest in a generation. All of this has happened in the first 5.5 months of this year. Don't be surprised if traditional political divides get scrambled. We've had too many sort of shakes at our system for it not to be scrambled. I mean, right now it still looks status quo-ish, believe it or not. We have a new NBC News Wall Street Journal call that we're going to debut on Sunday, and a lot of people are going to be, my God, we've had all this happen, and Trump's numbers have moved about a point. You think, what's going on? But don't be surprised come closer to November if we just see a shift one way or the other, and if you see a shift in a community that is unexpected. I think things are a lot more uncertain in the political world than we make them out to be.
Yeah. Meet the Press will be here 10 a.m. on 11Alive Sunday. Chuck, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Add the Atlanta Hawks to the list of organizations talking about race and police brutality in many communities. We have heard from the head coach Lloyd Pierce as he has spoken on this topic this week. And today, the Hawks owner, who is Tony Ressler, who lives in Los Angeles, revealed the Hawks have held a virtual meeting with people from part-time workers to ownership. The meeting was led by the CEO of a group called Basic Diversity. And Ressler said in a statement that we ourselves will be accountable to leaders in our community and will use our position to be a force for justice and for what is right, end quote. Some of the most prominent NFL players letting the league know what they want to hear about social justice issues. That list including Gainesville's Deshaun Watson, coming up next.
We just got the latest advisory on Tropical Storm Cristobal, and it's strengthening a little bit. Stay with us. We'll let you know where it's headed and if we'll feel any impacts.
Staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have
11Alive committed to continuing to update you on where we stand with COVID-19 in Georgia. Tonight we take a closer look at Gwinnett County. This afternoon the state reported a total of 4,372 positive COVID-19 cases in Gwinnett, 604 of those from the past week. That's more than double the number of new cases in any other metro area. We've heard a lot about the impact of long-term care facilities in Gwinnett County. That accounts for about 13% of the positive cases. 382 of those are residents in nursing and rehab facilities. 160 of those are staff. So we took a closer look at the zip codes to see where those COVID cases are coming from. And Gwinnett only releases that data once a week. But on Monday, zip code 30044, which is a part of Lawrenceville, had the most cases at 1,608. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, that zip code is fairly an even mix of Hispanic people as well. The protests are renewing efforts to remove Confederate monuments in several cities, including Athens, and this one near the UGA Arch was vandalized during a recent demonstration. Earlier this week, the city's mayor announced he wants it gone. And with that sentiment, it is not echoed by some who blazed the trail for the modern fight of civil rights. Today I spoke with the incomparable former UN ambassador, former mayor of Atlanta, former U.S. congressman, former confidant of Dr. King, the one and only Andrew Young. He says there are still lessons to be learned from preserving symbols from an unpleasant past.
Ambassador, do you think Henry Grady needs to have his name erased from Atlanta, whether it's the statue downtown or it's Grady High School or the Grady School of Journalism at the University of Georgia? Has the time come to take his name off of Grady Hospital as well?
Well, I differ from a lot of people on this because I think our history is our history. And I still quote Henry Grady about us being a brave and beautiful city. And I don't know enough about his racist background, but at the time in which he lived, everybody was living on slavery. And you start with Grady and you get rid of Thomas Jefferson. I mean, that's our history, and I'm content with it. I don't like it. Even Stone Mountain, it's a beautiful technical work of art. Now, I don't agree with any of the four persons there, but I don't think that ought to be desecrated. What I would like to do, I would like to put a big freedom bell on top of Stone Mountain, because Martin Luther King said, "Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain." And I think building on our past rather than trying to destroy our past.
Most areas are dry right now, even though we've been tracking just a couple of isolated showers that have kind of been popping up, lingering around for part of the evening hours. One of those up here in Pickens County that developed and has now fallen apart as it pushed down to the south. And that's kind of all we've been seeing here, just a few of these isolated showers. A lot of this that you see showing up around metro Atlanta, false echoes. There were a couple little raindrops mixed in with that a little bit earlier. Most of the heavier rain earlier today was down on the south side, and with some thunder and lightning, severe weather with that has all diminished now as well. We're still watching some stronger storms that are back into parts of Alabama. You'll notice the lightning with this is diminishing somewhat. Still some lightning south of Montgomery. And then this area of rain was really strong earlier as it moved through Mississippi. It had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings with it and some strong winds and heavy rain, but that's staying over there. It's not going to make it over here to us here in the Atlanta area. It is going to stay over to the west of us, so no concerns about that at all. We just got in a new advisory on Tropical Storm Cristobal. This is the 11 p.m. advisory, and the storm has gotten a little bit stronger. We mentioned earlier that this morning it was a tropical depression when it was over land here down at the Yucatan Peninsula. Now it's over water, and it's getting a little stronger. Last check at 5 o'clock and at 8 o'clock, it was at 40 miles an hour. Now it's 45 mile an hour maximum sustained winds. It's going to keep moving up to the north at about 14 miles an hour. And tomorrow late, it's going to be at about 60 miles an hour in the center of the Gulf of Mexico. So as you can see here, it's moving up, getting closer to the Louisiana coastline. Sunday morning, it's still going to be off the coast. We have tropical storm warnings in effect for much of the Louisiana coast, Mississippi coast, and Alabama coast, and then offshore there on parts of the Florida Panhandle where they could see some tropical storm force winds. We think it'll be making landfall late on Sunday, late in the afternoon and early evening, and then it continues moving northward on Monday inland, and it begins to lose its strength. But we're on the right-hand side of this, so it's going to keep pumping up some Gulf moisture moving into our area, and that's going to increase our rain chances again once we get into next week. Now, I want you to watch what we have going on. Here's the storm. This is tomorrow in the center of the Gulf of Mexico. We're actually going to have some drier air in our area tomorrow with the rain chance down to 30%. And then notice on Sunday, still low rain chances here as well at only a 20% chance for showers. Even as all this moisture moves up toward along the Gulf Coast region, it's going to be soggy there along the Gulf Coast. As that moves northward, that's where we'll begin to see more of that Gulf moisture headed our way, giving us those showers as we go into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. By Thursday, that pushes down to the south, and it looks like by Thursday and Friday, we're going to see some much drier air that'll be moving in. So it's going to be warm. We should just go ahead and say hot tomorrow, near 90, and then 88 on Sunday with rain chances coming down to 20% Sunday. Then back up to a 40% chance Monday, 50% chance Tuesday, and then lowering those rain chances on Wednesday at 40%, Thursday 30%, and right now the end of next week on Friday looks dry with a high of 86.
On behalf of the National Football League,
this is what we, the players,
would like to hear you state.
We, the National Football League,
condemn racism and the systematic oppression of black people.
We, the National Football League,
admit wrong in silencing our players from peacefully protesting.
We, the National Football League,
believe Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Strong message from the league's most prominent players, a message shared all over social media today, and The message was heard by the NFL. In less than 24 hours, Commissioner Roger Goodell responded with a video of his own. He talked about everything the players said they wanted addressed. Some hoped that the commissioner would have directly addressed Colin Kaepernick, but nonetheless, a strong message from the league.
We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of Black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter.
Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan creating a GoFundMe and donating $500,000 to help improve the community for people of color in Atlanta. He will be working with Black business leaders, sports figures, activists, and local grassroots organizations to get guidance on how these donations can make the most impact here. Live sports returns to Atlanta with Sunday's NASCAR race at AMS, and racing legend Jimmy Johnson will be honored as the track renames what used to be known as the Winners Grandstand, the Johnson Grandstand. Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy, as we get ready for this race, here goes.
I'm really excited to go back to Atlanta. It's one of my favorite racetracks to compete at. Been able to win there over the years, and I know of late it's been tough for us, but I really expect us to have a strong performance there.
All right, that is sports. We'll take a break. We wrap things up right after this.
Weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Trackers, and we're going to see the rain chances coming down a little bit for the weekend. 30% chance for afternoon showers on Saturday, only a 20% chance Sunday. Rain chances up a little more with the remnants of the tropical system moving through for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then drying out by the end of next week.
All right, Chris, thank you. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you for watching. Switch over right now to 11Alive. Ron and Aisha have your news on Up Late. Have a great weekend, everybody.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during primetime. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.